Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Mike and Ishea talk about stuff on just the tip. Ishea, what are we listening to right now?
Right now, we have to stop everything because Solange just released a new album. It is called When I Get Home. We started listening to it, and then we were like, fuck, we got to record this podcast. So we paused it.
I'm going to listen to it on my way to work tomorrow.
Yeah, and I'm going to listen to it on my commute as well.
And then when I get home. Also,
I'm so happy to see her back. She makes me want to like straighten my hair and get like a long sew and weave.
Is that what she does?
Well, I mean, she changes her look all the time. Like, she's fucking fabulous. But like, if you saw the visuals for it, yeah, it's like a long straight weave.
Oh, okay.
Or like a wig. So listening to Solange's album got us talking about music sharing, and I obviously already listened to Solange, but I got Mike to listen to Solange. And do you remember how I did that?
I started to positively associate having sex with you and foreplay with your music that you would play for us.
And Solange was on there.
Yeah, and Solange was on there. I mean, and granted, Solange is just great.
Yeah.
So like,
it was like not a hard sell.
Yeah, it wasn't a hard sell, but like, there's been other like hard sell music that I've gotten into because like you would just play it during like happy times.
Yeah, like I think a lot of the rap I listen to.
Yeah, like some stuff that I just wouldn't really give much time of day to.
You just get through it.
I just like. Yeah, and that's not to say all rap, but it's like some of the trap you listen to, I wouldn't ever like want to listen to it twice.
Yeah, I mean,
but then when I'm forced to, I'm like, oh, okay, this is kind of good. Some of it's, you have great taste in music, so.
Okay,
yeah.
So we were talking about music sharing, and it got me thinking about how I got you to listen to Solange, and then you in turn got who to listen to Solange.
I got my friend Elliot to listen to Solange.
He's not just your friend; he's like your best friend.
My best friend.
Like your brother.
My best friend. And then, but he was probably listening.
He will be the only one who thinks that's funny.
He was probably listening to heavy metal in that morning, and then I was like, "Hey, you should listen to Solange sometime." So then he does, and then like 2 months later, he's like, "Hey, Mike, you should listen to D'Angelo. Black Jesus, such a good album."
Have you heard of D'Angelo? Like you knew who he was before?
Yeah, right? Absolutely. His music video where you can see his like V cut, that was like all the rage.
And speaking of V cuts, Mike has lost 12 pounds now.
Yeah, 12 pounds today.
Which app?
I use the free version of MyFitnessPal. # not an ad.
But it could be. Product placement. Yeah, MyFitnessPal, if you want a nice before and after story.
Ooh, yeah. So ripe. I just like type in everything I eat into the app, and I type in my exercise, and then it says how many numbers I need to do, and I do my numbers.
And let me just add that Mike is one of the most disciplined people I have ever met in my life. Actually, I think you are the most disciplined person I've ever known.
Like people who are high achievers, you just don't realize how disciplined they are.
They're disciplined.
I'm not as disciplined as a lot of the people that you know.
You're disciplined in your personal life. I know people who are high achieving and disciplined in their professional lives, but then they give themselves all the freedom in their personal lives, which is not a judgment. But you are very disciplined in your personal life. You go to bed at this time. You dedicate this much time to studying. You just started your master's. You set alarms. It's just
I think you just don't know what having a bedtime is.
I don't.
You're you had the most. How are you more disciplined than a doctor?
Well, baby, you were in the
because I have a bedtime.
Too.
I know.
Which required some discipline to be on those crazy hours.
Yes.
Okay, so we were talking about just music sharing and how cool it is, and I'm trying to think of what music you've shared with me. Father John Misty, that's one.
Oh yeah, you like him now?
Yeah, I like him now. He's actually in concert this summer, and I was going to ask if you wanted to go.
Yeah, probably not.
Oh.
I like him, but I don't need to sit through a concert.
Oh, so
I've seen him once already at Sasquatch, and I was like, I barely remember. I remember the first song.
I'm going to see Danny D. Kane. I'm going to see Danny D. Kane on Saturday. And Mike, I told Mike that I was willing to pay for meet and greet tickets.
I said that Danny D. Kane to me sounds like an album that a Real Housewives daughter would put out.
And then I told him that he was ridiculous and that this was making the band and had he never heard of this, and they were like,
I remember when it was on TV.
Selling group.
I remember when it was on TV.
I literally have their CDs in my car right now. That's how old I feel. And I have their CDs in my car.
Well, your car's old as fuck.
I've had my car since 2005, to be
from
fair.
That era.
And the CDs have been in my car since I bought them because they were relevant. I've had in my car since 2005.
Your car's been through like Danny Kane's rise to fame, breakup, and reunion tour.
Yeah. Yeah, it has. But you got, like, you were judging me a little bit for that. And I'm trying to think, like, who would you pay to even see?
I mean, I pay to see bands.
Since when? You haven't gone to one concert since I've dated you.
Well, that's true. But I've been to a lot of concerts. I don't know, nothing's really come up where I wanted to.
But at what point, if you haven't done it in like over 3 years, do you just not do it anymore?
I've just been to so many. I've been to so many concerts that like, I don't know. Now I don't know. I'm just waiting for the right one to come along. And I'm cheap, so like.
That's probably the better answer.
Expensive as fuck.
I'm cheap.
Yeah, I'm cheap.
So the KUOW Curiosity Club, I went to it tonight. And it's hashtag KUOW Curiosity. And it was really cool. So the premise was bringing together people around good food and stories and seeing if you could transform strangers into a community. And the first thing I kept thinking while I was sitting there was, fuck, I live in a bubble. And I guess I'm someone who's so open and I'm so social and I do know a lot of different types of people. But sitting at that table that was curated to be very, like, intentionally diverse from backgrounds and, you know, walks of life, I just realized, like, holy shit, this would not be my dinner party. Like, if I had a dinner party, this wouldn't be the demographics. And there's so much that there's just so much learning and enrichment in being around different people that you normally would not be around. Yeah. And I wonder how we can get out of our own ways to actually get to meet people and have conversations with people, because it felt so warm, and like that's what the world needs more of, is coming together with people who are just strangers. And through conversation realizing, oh my God, we have so much in common.
We live in a condo, and like just talking about strangers and even people we know, we live in a condo, and I have said 2 words to all of our neighbors combined.
Well, I don't know if we've talked about this in the podcast, but one of our neighbors died, and then I Google researched everything. So unlike Mike, I actually know our neighbors fairly well.
Yeah.
I still don't speak to them, but like I know them well. Like Google stalk them.
They don't know her.
That'll be the next episode. Okay, come back next week, because I will tell you about how the police told us that our neighbor, like, they pulled a body out of the building as we were walking back up. And the police got the unit number wrong for who they said died. So basically they told us the girl who lives upstairs above us died. And later that night we heard footsteps. And like, Mike believes in nothing, and I literally believe in everything. And I was just like, oh my God, her fucking ghost is active. So I started Googling stuff. Long story short, I ended up emailing her boss, sending my condolences. And then found out that the unit number was wrong. And then had to email her and say, like, I'm really sorry, but, like, I emailed your job saying
that you're
my
dead.
Condolences that you died. Yeah.
And
so that's next week. I don't want to give the rest of it away. Yeah. That's next week. But then I really got deeper into who actually died.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, it was...
And then, okay, and I'll just let you know, the messages didn't stop.
No, it was a deep hole.
She didn't learn her lesson. You didn't learn your lesson, babe, and you kept going.
So come back next week for that interesting story. But it was really cool to be in that room with people who all came open and ready to be vulnerable. And I want to create more of that feeling. I want to kind of cling on to that and just more good shit in the world.
Yeah. Well, you're naturally a community builder. So if anyone's listening, tell us what you think about building community.
Well, yeah, but also I guess the whole point of me starting that fucking story was to say that sitting there, I realized I live in a bubble. And even though I have a diverse group of people I'm around, I kind of am open to like 15 different types of people. And I have all those 15 around me. So I feel like I'm doing some good fucking job. But in reality, it's just like I'm living this isolated life. And I want to make it a point to step outside of my zone and not let what I deem to be kind of the weird things about Seattle deteriorate that for me, because I'm from like Chicago, I'm from a city, and like I'm to the point where sometimes like I don't even want to say hello and good morning to people, because one, I just don't like mornings and I need to wake up, but I don't know, it's just like,
what's funny though is like you're like, I don't want to be in a bubble because I'm from Chicago, or like Chicago Chicago one of the most segregated cities?
The neighborhoods are, but not like, but people are social. You can go to a bar and make friends.
Oh, okay.
And yeah.
But you can't make friends in Seattle. Yeah, you probably can't.
No, you can't.
I never have, certainly.
But like, as we're sitting there in this amazing, dinner tonight, we have to do like a post-event survey. And then I realized like, oh shit, I'm trying to get my, the Wi-Fi to log in, whatever. I accidentally closed my browser and had 20 windows open. And then all of a sudden it's like I forgot about the homelessness and the youths and all of these like broken things we were talking about tonight. And I just was so fixated on the fact that I had 20 fucking browser windows open and I just closed them. And what the fuck? And it's like, oh, I have really first world problems. I have so much privilege. I have so much privilege, and I still have struggles, but I have so much privilege. We're talking about people who are experiencing homelessness and kids who have had to move every year since first grade. And I'm upset that my browser window in fucking Safari just closed, and I'm queued up to watch Jordan, whatever the fuck her last name is, who slept with Tristan. I'm ready. I have it queued up on Red Table Talk because she's going to be on there tomorrow talking about her affair.
Like, one of our household problems right now is that one of us forgot to buy bubbly at the grocery store last time we were getting groceries. I told
Mike to go get bubbly, and he brought home champagne.
Oh my god!
Called the Bubbles.
This first world problem just got
even worse. I was just like, babe, bring home some bubbly. We had just talked about mango bubbly the day before.
I thought she meant champagne, but she meant fizzy soda type drink.
We're like bitching about the fact that you accidentally brought home champagne that we're drinking right now.
That's like one of our household problems right now. That's how privileged and a luxurious life we live.
Can I say what the other household problem is?
Sure.
It's that we've reached a level of comfort being together for so many years now, where Mike totally blew out the toilet and took a huge dump and didn't even bother to like flush it a few more times to get it off the sides. And
I was letting the water do its action.
At the point where I just cleaned it.
Oh, did you hit the flush?
No, I got the scrub.
You just gotta hit the flush.
No, babe, you don't just gotta hit the flush.
That's all you have to do.
You tried that, it didn't work.
You just have to hit the flush, and then I was gonna flush it later, but you saw it first.
So I want to wrap this episode up with my PSA for the week, which is, under no circumstances should you ever use your hard-earned coin to buy an Alaska Airlines Saver fare, because
hashtag ad.
No, hashtag Alaska Air, hashtag I fly Alaska, but also I don't really fly anywhere because you guys had me stranded for 18 fucking hours. Alaska Airlines is trying. Number one, I've never had bad service with them until this last trip, which was insane. But they are trying to compete with like low cost tickets. So they have this thing called a Saver fare. You may save anywhere between, I would say like $40 to $100 plus. And so anyway, I bought this ticket. All this shit happened where I was going to Vegas. It was snowing in Vegas. My flight is canceled. My flights are delayed. It was a hot ass mess. Because I bought this fucking Saver fare and only saved maybe $60, they would not let me fly standby. Of course, no one told me that. They just kept playing me the whole fucking day. But I realized that fare has gotten so much like bad press and so many people have complained. So if you're flying on Alaska Airlines, which under normal circumstances has amazing service, but you buy that Saver fare, just don't even risk it because you'll be so fucking stressed. If you want to see my breakdown, it's on my Instagram page under my highlights called quote Vegas end quote. So it's right there. Watch it. Also don't buy that fucking ticket because they will treat you like trash. They treat you like a fucking poor peasant that you had to save $60 so you don't deserve anything.
Thank you so much for that outro, baby. Love you. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening. We'll catch you next week on Spotify.
Yes, bye.